new ideas and new styles and original stuff with, referencing things like Bond and the Avengers and stuff that's come before. Thank you.
Sorry, I've never done this before.
Who do you expect to have the answer to that question?
The flashes were kind of sending me a little bit loopy. So I completely missed the question.
I'm just saying, Mark. I think Mark should answer that.
The answer simply is it's so easy. I didn't have to direct it, of course. It's Matthew Vaughn who directed it. Luckily, he's a genius, so for him this was no problem at all. He's a big fan of all this stuff growing up. And like all of us here probably, he's into this eclectic pop culture, and like Quentin Tarantino here, he just picks the stuff that he loves and puts it all in one movie.
One of the things that makes you want to be an actor, well, speaking only for myself, there's something infantile about it. You're suspending disbelief, pretending, entering into the story world. And if you're going to do the kind of movies that show a harsh narrative reality or something, that probably wasn't what you were really for when you did it. But this is like stepping into the shoes of the things that you were growing up. So in some ways, I think, I feel that was in mind when it was being created. It was stuff about kids when we fell in love with cinema.
There's something quite nice about seeing a spy movie that's fun again as well, isn't there? Like, the last 15 years or so, is that when I was a kid I used to watch James Bond and want to be him when I grew up. And now you go and see James Bond and he's crying in the shower. I don't know, I think if you used to see a spy movie, you don't want to kill yourself after, I think you should put that on the poster.
Hi, Jorge. Well, before I begin to ask my question for Mr. Nolan, I'd just like to say to Mr. Dick Gibbons, Watchmen is the best thing I've ever read in my entire life. It changed my life. Thank you so much for doing it. Whenever you see Alex, please tell him that he changed my life. Thank you very much. I will do it. Thank you. For Mr. Mellon, I've read most of your stuff, not all of it. And most of it.
There's plenty downstairs if anyone would like to pass it.
So here's the thing, I see that you take things that we all know and understand, and you switch it up, and you show us in a different light. Now, sometimes a very dark light, very almost grotesque or gory light. Now, Secret Service, I read it, I thought it was hilarious, I got the black humor. What was your inspiration for it? What were you trying to do, either parody or homage?
Well, it's funny, you almost think you're very original, then you realise everything you do is a collection of sort of random memories from your childhood. And I think it probably applies to all of us, And for me, it was the Spy Who Loved Me probably was a big thing. Like, that's when I first wanted to be James Bond, And but anything I do, Kick-Ass, when I created Kick-Ass, it was basically me wanting to be Spider-Man as a child, and that was the version of it. My daughter asked me to create a superhero for her, and I created Hit Girl, so which she still isn't allowed to read. So everything is just something that you loved when you were a kid, really, that comes out. And Matthew and I are the same age, and this all came from a pub chat that we had on the set of Kick-Ass. He was just, exhausted, sitting in the bar. We were talking about how we missed the old school spy movies, and it just grew organically from there back in 2008. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jackson, we didn't see the film yet, but you have been doing a lot of action films in your career, and I can wonder, you can be like a mentor for Mr. Colin. So can you talk a little bit about that? You have a chance to talk about it, and you learn something about Mr. Jackson?
By the time I showed up, they'd already been shooting for a while. I actually hadn't seen what was going on, and Matthew took me into an office and showed me this really great scene, showed me Jersey. And I was sitting there slapping y'all. That's Colin Firth. So he didn't need any help from me. One thing that's really great, like you said, we've been preparing for this all our lives. I tell people this a lot, that I sit at home and I read scripts, and I see the movies that I saw when I was a kid. I spent my whole day in the movie theater watching. And I say to myself, okay, here's that opportunity I've been waiting for to be inside that movie I spent all day watching. And I'll choose that movie because that's part of the job. The job is supposed to be fun. And I've been preparing to do this for a long time. I was an only child. I stood in the mirror and did a lot of stuff. I fought a whole bunch of things in my room that nobody saw but me. And I think Colin learned how to channel those things. And we all have that inside of us as actors that really enjoy acting, that remember what it meant to lose yourself in that fantasy world when you were a kid, or you and your friends dressed up and went outside to play cowboys and Indians, or war, or Vikings, or whatever we played with old ladies. Don't sex that, we put somebody's ear out. We did that stuff. And now I get to do it as an adult on a grand scale. I get to have a real gun in my hand and shoot fake bullets. But when I shoot somebody, unlike my friends who always yell, "You miss me," my chest explodes. I love that. So you don't have to be taught to do that. You have to learn to do the technical things, like the choreography of fights and all those other things. But all that other stuff is stuff we've been waiting to do all our lives, especially boys.
Well, there's nothing, that's a perfect answer. Everything Sandra said goes for me as well. All I would say is that, I fantasize about being in those kind of films. I rarely ever have. And then when Sam Jackson shows up on the set, I think, I'm in the real thing. It's fine, but I made it into those movies I want to see.
My question is for Colin. Hello. Colin, you've given us so many iconic roles over the years, from Mr. Darcy to King George VI. And now you're fulfilling every Colin Firth fan fantasy of playing a secret British agent. So what was it like for you to finally get to kick some arse? Can I say that?
Yes, it was great fun. I mean, I think in some ways, I think you've been hearing the answer to that. It referenced something that is to do with the things we really, really enjoy. This isn't, this isn't supposed to be, rewriting history, or it's not supposed to achieve world peace, or anything. It's to just, we enjoy it, we want you to enjoy it. And in terms of what was different, I've never had to do anything quite this physical, really, unless you include pulling Hugh Grant's hair. That was probably what first hinted at me as a killing machine. The training was extraordinarily intense and unfamiliar to me. But it was long and incredibly gratifying. I wished I'd done more of it, but it was a good 6 months of daily, 3 hours a day, with this extraordinary team. Basically the best in the world: gymnasts, Thai boxers, martial artists of all kinds, special forces guys. So it was.
Some killers who still wanted that we can't.
That's.
This clip you're going to see in Hall H this afternoon of Colin fighting, I've watched about 200 times. It's absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see what Hugh Grant is like when he watches it. He's going to be shitting himself. Bridget Jones 3.
It's a good thought.
I just want to say to all of you, from Kick-Ass to Watchmen, Pulp Fiction, Time to Kill, to Nanny which my 3-year-old loves. So thank you so much for that. My question to you, Mr. Firth, is, and it kind of dovetails on what she was saying, is that what drew you to this? What made you say, I've done kind of these films, I want to do something there?
Well, again, part of the reasons you've heard, I enjoyed this kind of thing, growing up in the 60s, and I think to a very large extent, in terms of style and the character of the spy movie that I fell in love with has its roots in the 60s. It's Man from Uncle, it's the Harry Palmer films, it's John Steed's Adventures, those early Bond films. It's the guy in the suit who seems slick and cool and capable, but very, very contained. But you cross him at the barrel, he'll get you with the umbrella or a slick move or a gadget or something. And so it was all that. But it took Natalie Vaughan to invite me. And, I've been here waiting for the offer on Bond for long enough. But it was Natalie Vaughan who decided that it was a good combination, because he likes to take your presumptions about people and then flip them on their head. And so he came to me and said, well, I think you're the last person on earth anybody would expect to kick anyone's ass. So are you up for it? And this is about a year before we went ahead. Well, comics. He hadn't finished writing the script, so that was enough to go on, and I loved it. I couldn't put it down. But are you prepared to take the pain of going through this training process? You're going to hate me by the end of it, but I'm asking you now, just because it's going to take this long to get you there. And so it was the challenge.
In terms of preparation for me, I'm...
Hello? This is yours. Actually, whoever you call them, you need a press conference. They have to call them to death. All right. Awesome. I don't have to take for it until I'm on the mission. That was Alger. Whoever knows Alger. Better check and see if the recorder's on. I can't help.
I just want to ask, for all the actors, describe your characters, describe their motivation in one sentence, if you can.
So I play Eggsy, who is a young man from the wrong side of the tracks who has great potential. That's one sentence, man.
Valentine, I want to say the word.
Harry, the Henry Higgins of the Spider.
Roxy, and
Gazelle, backing up Valentine.
Dave Gibbons, I want to sell comics.
Oh, I get 50% of his.
This is a question and a comment. My question, comment is this is fit as we're going to see you, Christopher?
Yeah. Deteriorating very fast.
That's what I thought. And for the young cast, you notice we're differentiating between the young cast and the mature cast. What was it like to work with two titans in the theater and everything?
It was absolutely amazing, and it was such an honor for all three of us to get to work with them, and could not believe what's happening to us, really, to be honest. And they're all really, truly generous, and they were absolutely amazing with us on set. It was a great experience.
Yeah, I'd be lying to slightly intimidated, but we were all in it together, and we all wanted to make films as good as possible, and had as much fun doing it, and doing it with titles such as these has been an absolute honour. We're very lucky.
I think the two gentlemen sat next to me, I think it's probably fair to say, are the quintessential living English and American movie stars. For me, obviously, having to get into these scenes with both of them was, not only wildly different, but also completely one of different ways. And, something I'll remember forever.
Oh, yeah.